Good afternoon, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought I'd talk to you all about communication and my contemplative time about communication and conflict. And you would think, wow, communication and conflict, that must be, again, countries that are fighting against each other or people who are going through some sort of major relationship changes, right? And of course, yes, it happens in both of those experiences. But I wanted to talk about, first of all, what does communication mean? And the dictionary definition of communication is this: it means imparting or exchanging information or news. That's communication. And there is a slightly different meaning that this word originally came from. So, the original meaning of the word communication is building and creating together. Building and creating together. That's the original meaning. Now, isn't that a huge difference that we're actually acting from today, right? When we think about building and creating together, communication takes on a whole different meaning than imparting or exchanging information. And I find that today, most people are just imparting or exchanging information, which means that we just tell each other things, and I'm letting you know because this is right. And we exchange, you tell me what you know, I tell you what I know. And is there really communication in that? Because when we look at the original definition, the original meaning, it was about building and creating together. So this could happen in any way, right? So if we're building and creating together, a time to get together, that, oh, okay, do you think we can meet up at this time? We can put the message out there through verbal or text messaging or email or any way that we know that we can communicate with each other to get that information across, right? How is it received and responded to? And it's interesting, just today I've had two very different experiences where one person was very easy in the communication. So it's like, oh, this is what needs to be done. Can we get together at this time? Well, this time doesn't work, so let's try this time, and done, finish, easy communication. Yet these days, I find that more people and groups and society is a little bit either flippant of, yeah, we could do that, that sort of energy, or, well, that doesn't work for me, or, well, I'll let you know when I know, right? That it's kind of that, it's a whole different energy. It's not about creating together, building together. And I don't believe that many people are consciously aware of doing this with each other, yet it does reflect the world around us, right? Where no one's really listening, no one's really paying attention to understand, no one's really observing. I shouldn't say no one, because I just had this great conversation with a person who really was on the same vibration as my thought process, and we communicated very well. And another friend, and these are two friends that I'm speaking with. And it's interesting, it's not even length of time that we know each other that we can say that, oh, it's because of length of time. When you know someone better, then you communicate very easily. No, we communicate easily when there is open reception to receiving a communication and communicating from that same open space. So it was interesting that today, when I was thinking about all of this, of course, these are the two experiences that happened today. And so interesting to just reflect on how the world is communicating with each other in a little bit more aggressive way, I'll say. And you might notice this. You'll notice this in offices, you'll notice this on the street, we'll notice this in our homes, where people are less light, more heavy, more weighed down with, well, if things don't go my way, if things aren't said my way, if things aren't happening my way, very egocentric, right? Then I'm not going to respond nicely. And what does that mean? I'm not responding nicely. Well, I'm responding, so I think that's pretty nice. And again, when we think of it in that way, it's not responding with the intention to understand and build together, right? And this can happen about anything. It can happen about Christmas plans, seasonal plans, Hanukkah plans, anything, New Year's plans. It can happen about anything. And yet, if we come from that open space to receive and to give from that open space, it's such a palpably different energy. And of course, that means that individuals can benefit from being aware of themselves, right? Where am I starting from? What's the energy that I'm receiving and giving from? And so today I would love for you to sit for 5 minutes after this video to pay attention to what is the energy from which you're giving from, what is the energy with which you're hearing from or receiving from, and see if you can spend those 5 minutes to communicate kindly and lovingly with at least one person today. I came across a couple of quotations that I felt matched this very nicely. One is by Harold W. Bocker, and this quotation says, "With unconditional love, duality dissolves into oneness." With unconditional love, duality dissolves into oneness. Now, what is duality? These are the two different things, right? This person is thinking this way, this person is thinking this way. That's a duality. Duality also creates fragmentation. And within a person, too, there is duality. So I feel really good about this person, so I can speak very kindly to this person. I don't really like this person, so I'm not going to speak very kindly with this person. That's a duality stemming right from me. Even with myself, if I think, oh, I feel good about this, but I don't feel good about this, or I'm here, but I want to be there, right? So whether that's in a place, I want to be in a different place, if I want to be in a different season, if I want to be in a different profession, if I want to be something different than what is, I'm not in full acceptance of the oneness that is right here, right now. So when we have unconditional love, so imagine if we are starting with unconditional love, it doesn't matter what comes from another side. They can be in a different space than ourselves. And when we've got the unconditional love, duality disappears and it blends into that oneness. When we're not in a good space, duality and fragmentation increases, like the video that I mentioned, or the information that I mentioned in my video yesterday. I also wanted to finish with one more quote by a wonderful author and poet, which is Rabindranath Tagore. And he says, "Only in love are unity and duality, not in conflict. Only in love are unity and duality, not in conflict." And this is the thing, right? Do you notice this about anyone you truly love? So, of course, it's the easiest to think of our pets or children, right? Because we're not really in conflict with them, right? So, even if they disagree with something that we say, we're kind of amused by it, aren't we? It's a lighthearted space. And that is love, right? That's the true essence of love, that it's not dependent on how the other side is thinking, speaking, or behaving. That changes how we think, speak, or behave from love. And that's the true essence of love. Of course, I would love to put in something about love in these videos. And I hope this all makes sense to you. I hope that today, for 5 minutes again, act from a place of love, of unity, of oneness, and see if you can dissolve some of that duality that you might be creating within your own mind or within your relationships. I wish you a fabulous day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great evening, everyone.